knowledge is power. There's nothing more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do this. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do this. Every voice has significance. What will be remembered in the end is not the words of our enemy, but the silence of our friends. Our lives they begin to end when we are silent about things that matter. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2026 Political Forum. Welcome, fellow citizens, friends, neighbors, fellow countrymen. On behalf of our pastors, George M. Matthews II and Judith C. Matthews, and the Political Education Awareness and Advocacy Ministry of New Life Interfaith Ministries, we welcome you to this special 2026 forum. It is designed to prepare you, to inform you, and inspire your participation in the primary election 30 days from today, and the general election on Tuesday, November the 3rd. We therefore declare that what God has said in the beginning, let there be light, and there was light. Further, you are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. At this time, Deacon Campbell will come and bring the invocation.
May we bow our heads. Gracious Father, we come to you this evening, thanking you for your many blessings. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for this forum this afternoon. We ask your blessing upon each and every candidate. We ask, Lord, that you'll bless them. And Father, you said in your word that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So, Father, we thank you this evening that the candidates that do win, that they will lead in the direction that you lead them. And Father, we ask your blessing upon our pastors, Pastor George and Judith. Bless each and every family that's represented under these candidates. We ask your blessing upon each and every person that's represented here this evening. These and all of the blessing we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
The concept of a public forum is the foundation for the democratic society in which we live. It is rooted in the belief that your voice and the free exchange of ideas are essential for informed decision-making and effective functioning of the government. The core of this candidate forum is to help you and me as voters make informed choices by comparing candidates directly, side by side. Today, this political forum is designed to provide a space where ideas are presented, ideas are challenged, perspectives are broadened, and the public conversation, the political conversation, goes to a new level of understanding. Our mission is to serve as a stage for candidates to express their views, actively participate in shaping the political discourse, and contribute to the democratic process. This space is where candidates can engage in intelligent and respectful conversation. This involves more than just hearing words. It's about understanding the message behind the words. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you our moderator for the evening. Our moderator holds a Master of Education degree from Alabama A&M, a Bachelor of Science degree in electronics from Excelsior College in Albany, New York. He has been involved and is involved in all forms of community activities, received numerous awards for community service and business. He is a member of Faith Chapel Christian Church and attributes all of his success to his faith in his Lord and Savior. Our moderator, Mr. Gary Richardson, is married to the former Wilhelmina Rambo and is the father of 3 sons and 3 daughters. Gary is a proud graduate of Jackson Olin High School in Birmingham, Alabama. Gary obtained his first radio job in 1977. In 1987, Gary formed the Richardson Broadcasting Corporation and bought his first radio station. Wow. WJLD, Wixie AM, and 1380 in Jasper. On this day in 1942, WJLD was founded. So this is a great day for WJLD and for our moderator, Gary Richardson. Let's welcome Gary.
Well, good evening. Am I on?
You're on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good evening and welcome to tonight's political forum. My job is to make sure that everything moves smoothly, fair, and in order. I'm not here to hurt or harm any candidate. We're simply here to moderate this program and make sure that it moves very freely. It's an opportunity for candidates to come and present themselves as they are to prospective voters. We're going to start out with group number 1, the county commissioners, then followed by the sheriff office. In this group 1, there's LaShonda Scales and Clint Woods from District 1, Kamara Blue and Doc Scott from District 3. In the sheriff office, Chris Anderson, Mark Petway, and Jude Washington. All right, each candidate will have 3 minutes to present the vision and platform of their campaign. And we're going to start from LaShonda Scales, District 1. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Richardson, and thank you everyone who've been so kind to put this program together. Thank you all for having us today. I am Commissioner LaShonda Scales, representing District Number 1 for Jefferson County. I'm very excited to be here. Want to talk about our platform, about action. We're totally focused on that and not promises. We've been able to bring over $1 billion to our district in terms of economic development, over 1,000 jobs, and we have created a scenario where those who are paying into the sewer system, we save ratepayer more than $1.1 billion. And so I look forward to us having a very good conversation today. I know that we're limited on time, but I can tell you that if you're looking for a candidate that has a proven track record of results, I ask you to go to LaShondaScales.com, and on Tuesday, May 19th, please take your family, friends, and neighbors and make sure that you get them out to vote for LaShonda Scales, the Commissioner for District 1, to keep LaShonda Scales. Thank you.
All right, a follow-up question. How would your policies impact small businesses, schools, or public safety?
Well, our policy in terms of the county, we take in the 1-cent sales tax, and obviously the public voted for. And so we don't have to create a policy because the state already has one. And so we are a creature of the state, and we give those dollars back to the school system every year, annually. I will say, as relates to any policy that impacts small businesses, we've been very good as the commission about supporting organizations such as Birmingham Business Alliance, Birmingham Business Resource Center. Those kind of opportunities that we've had is to help small business. I'm a small business owner myself. And so anything that helps our small business owners to have those opportunities for grant opportunities with the county, that's exactly what we're seeking to do.
All right, thank you. We'll move over to District 3, the Jefferson County Commission. These candidates are the Democrats vying for the party's nomination. The incumbent in District 3, Jimmy Stevens, is a Republican. And we'll start out with Camera Blue. Mr. Blue, 3 minutes opening statement.
Again, thank you for having me. My name is Kamar Blue. I've been a resident of Jefferson County for a brief 48 years. I've been here with my family. My wife and I own Blue Vision Center, a small business here. And I've just seen so much go on throughout the years. I've been around politics all my life. And I'm just a citizen who's tired of people making false promises. I'm tired of people committing to stuff and not doing it. I'm tired of progress being punishment. I'm tired of people in position who don't represent the people. And so I want an opportunity to be a voice for the people. I want an opportunity to help small businesses. I want small businesses to be able to be bid ready, because too many times people outside of our county come in and take the bids because they don't know. So I believe in transparency. I want to be transparent, and I want to be the voice for District 3. District 3 is the largest district in Jefferson County. It's the most diverse district in Jefferson County. And so I don't just want to be a voice for Democrats. I want to be a voice for all citizens. I want to represent all people. I'm tired of partisan politics where people don't get along because of a political party. And so I just want to be a person for the people. My motto is, a vote for Blue is a vote for you.
All right, thank you. I'll follow up with a question after Doc Scott.
Yes, my name is Doc Scott. I live in Bessemer, Carriage Hill. The first 3 points I'm going to make about the county commissioner job. The service, I want to make sure people have good service. People don't even know they live in the county, and their roads are not paved, their grass is not cut, their bushes are not cut. You go up to the intersection, you can't see out because you can't see for the bushes sticking out. So the service is bad in certain parts of the city. The second thing I want to point on is the sewer bill. The sewer bill is 3 times as much as your water bill. That is outrageous. In 2010, we got a bond for $3 million. Okay, we paid the bond down to $1.16. I looked it up. And then they refinanced the bill. They refinanced the bill. That made no sense, and nobody knows where the money went. Nothing has changed from the sewer system. So I would like to know where the money went. And the third thing is people need fire service. People don't have fire service in certain parts of the county. Houses burning down left and right. No fire service. I called to the governor mansion or the office, and they said it's simple. Only thing you had to do is have community meetings. After the community meeting, then you just get petitions, and you get the petition signed, and then you take it back to the governor's office, and then they'll start on getting people fire service. So those are my 3 things.
All right, we'll stay with you, Doc. How would you propose to pay for your suggested changes?
Okay. For the service part, every county worker who's got a position, every 2 years, they get a new car, a new truck, or a new piece of equipment. Cut that back and let them get it every 4 years and hire more people, and you have better service. So that's my plan, to bring the money in.
All right, and
You don't have to pay for the fire service. The state do that.
all right, the question for Mr. Blue. You mentioned earlier in your statement about your ability to, I guess, get along with everybody, or too many folks fighting. What different perspective you would bring to the table?
I'm a pastor, a Baptist pastor, and that should say something about learning how to get along with people. But when you love people, it's not hard to try and get along. When you have a heart for the people, it's not hard to cross aisles. When you see people suffering, when you see people having to make decisions on food versus medicine, food versus healthcare, you want to do what's best for the people. So I love people. I grew up, my mom and dad taught me how to respect people. That respect is not, it's earned by giving respect. And so.
Okay, all right, that answered that. We're going to come back to District 1, Clint Woods, candidate challenging the incumbent. Good evening, and you have 3 minutes opening statement to present your vision and platform.
Thank you, sir. One, apologize for the mix-up. I'm excited to be here this evening. Also want to thank Pastor Matthews for opening the House tonight to ensure voters had the opportunity to be informed. I am Clinton Woods. I currently serve as a city councilor for District 1 in the city of Birmingham and have held that position for roughly the last 8 years, and very excited just about the opportunity to be considered to serve at the county level. I think in Birmingham we proved something that when leaders work together and when leaders listen to the residents, the ceiling is lifted. And so when I got in office, there were some pretty specific desires that came directly from the community. Number one was street paving. The residents wanted to see us paving streets, more streets. They didn't really care about the details or why it wasn't happening. They wanted it done. And so one thing we changed, we took that feedback and we changed how we were approaching street paving. We put it into our general fund budget, which means we were paving streets every year. We currently invest a minimum of $15 million per year into street paving. And over the last 8 years, we've been able to pave more streets in that time period than even the 20 years prior to that combined. And so that type of investment, putting the dollars exactly where people are asking us to, is the reason why people, they want to be a part of the progress. And so that's one. I think two was public safety. No secret about, if you've got a TV and watch the news over the years, you've seen some of the challenges that has existed in Birmingham. And we didn't shy away from it. We leaned into it. We started increasing our investment in things like technology and personnel. We put up $16 million to recruit and retain police officers. And so for the first time in nearly a decade, Birmingham Police Department is fully staffed. And over the last 2 years, we've seen a 65% decrease in violent crime. And so those are not by accident. We changed the culture in City Hall. You don't see leaders fighting each other. You don't see leaders bashing each other, undercutting each other. You see people working together to take on the problems that are affecting the lives of residents. And that's my commitment, is to lean in. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to ensure that funding is allocated along the lines to see that you get the results that you want. And I'm just excited, so I appreciate all of you being here and being engaged, but you have my commitment that I will listen to you, I will be accessible to you, and I will ensure that dollars are allocated in line with what you want to see in your community.
All right, Mr. Blue, I'm sorry, got blue in my mind. Blue fire. Mr. Woods, why should a voter who is undecided or skeptical trust you over your opponent?
Mm-hmm. I think the thing that's important when you're considering is always look at track record. And so for me, being in office nearly 8 years, I have worked collectively to get things done. We've paved in my district in the city council, been able to pave 125 streets over the last 8 years. That's tangible. You can't argue with that. We've done that work. We've made that impact. I think when people ask for something, believe it or not, one of the biggest things that people want to see was speed bumps in the district. And so I went to the mayor, got the approval to do that. We worked with the Department of Transportation to create a process. And, the city had never allowed speed cushions on city streets. We went in and changed that. And now that's one of the most popular programs we have in the city. We have an incredible backlog. But again, it's just listening. That track record of taking the problems that are coming directly from the community and ensuring that we are not only working on it, that we're actually investing in it. Thank you. I'm sorry.
All right.
What's the time limit on responses?
Sure. The buzzer went off, so
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
yeah, that's what that means. Stop.
Get me, Doc. Yeah, get me.
Sure,
I can go all day. I apologize.
that's quite all right. We're going to move over to the Jefferson County Sheriff race, and the incumbent is Sheriff Mark Petway. We're going to let him do an opening statement, followed by Jude Washington and Chris Anderson.
Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Mark Petway, your current sheriff. 2018, I won the election. 2019, I went into office. When I went into office, we made programs to help those that were incarcerated. It was called it was a reentry program that helped those individuals get an education over incarceration. From there, we had a pandemic. When the pandemic hit, we had to shut things down, but we led. We made sure that we did not stop business from happening. From the pandemic, we went on to the George Floyd situation where we had protests. We went out and made relationships with those that were out there protesting, so it ended the protest quickly. 23-24 was a bad time for the county for homicides happening in Birmingham. We partnered with every municipality from one end of Jefferson County to the other end of Jefferson County. That's leadership. We made sure that we got out there and was on the front line to bring down the amount of murders that was going on in the city of Birmingham throughout the county. Now it's down by over 44%. So that is great leadership right there. After that, we made sure that we updated things in our MAC Center. We have updated drones. We have updated a cellular tower, which we can track down individuals that are out there committing crimes. We want to make sure that we have the best technology to make sure we can prevent crime from happening right here in Jefferson County. That's vision right there. We want to make sure that our top priority is make sure that you are safe. Now, we also have programs that we invest in our future, our youth, our kids. We have books, not bullets. We want to keep them out of that pipeline from school to prison, so we encourage them to read, to learn, and to dream big. Not only do we do that, we have a LEAP program, Law Enforcement Athletic Partnership. We do it right here at Bessemer. In Bessemer, we have a program where we bring kids in, we mentor them, we teach them about conflict resolution, and make sure they don't take guns to schools. So we want to make sure our kids have a future. Now, all those things I talk about, they're just not programs. I'm talking about vision, leadership, partnership. That's what we achieve every day at Jefferson County Sheriff's Office to make sure that we provide the safety that you need each and every day to live. I'm Jefferson County Sheriff Mark Petway, and I approve this message.
Jude Washington.
Good afternoon. We have to, first of all, I want to thank the church for allowing us to be here. We can talk about our platform, but we can't move forward with the platform without having deputies to do it. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is hundreds of deputies short right now. He can talk about the pandemic and how we lost everything, but we haven't moved back up. Birmingham is almost 100% in their deputy and their police officers right now. Jefferson County is still hurting. They're recruiting retired police officers. They're turning the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office into a retirement home for police officers. Now, the last academy had, I think, maybe 4 or 5 deputies in it that belong to Jefferson County. And you're not going to get ahead that way. So we can keep talking about, keeping you safe and partnering with other agencies. But I worked undercover at Jefferson County for 18 years. And it was me who partnered with these agencies to help bring down the crime. Now, he says crime is down 44%. Last week it was 23%, whatever. Crime is down across this nation. Now, when crime is high, when it's the highest in this history of this state, you got to own that too. You have to own that. You can't just own it when it's down. So when it's high, you got to talk about the crime. You got to talk about what you're going to do to bring that crime down. So I'm going to get to my platform is mostly recruiting and retention, getting people to come back to Jefferson County, not retired police officers, because we need them, but we need young blood. We need young ideas. We need young people on the streets. These deputies now having to work their off days, working overtime, just to make it look like we have deputies on the streets. So don't be fooled. These programs, that they have, they can't just pop up during election season, y'all. They had to be programs that are going to be everlasting. So what I want to do is implement measurable programs, measurable accountability, You want to have people who have a morale that's up instead of down all the time. We need to get these numbers back in Jefferson County because right now you are not safe. All right, I'm Jude Washington, a candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff, 2026, May 19th, and I approve this message.
All right, Chris Anderson.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Anderson. I'm a longtime law enforcement officer. I've spent almost 30 years of my life defending and protecting the people of Jefferson County. The first 21 years of my career, I spent it with the Birmingham Police Department. I've worked everything you can imagine, from child rapes to murders to robberies, anything you imagine, I've done it. I was one of the investigators featured on the show First 48, but that is not who I am. I've worked the tough cases. I've sat with the families when they are in the worst predicament in their life, losing a child, losing a husband, losing a spouse. I've sat with those folks and I've talked with them, and I've developed multiple different strategies for different law enforcement agencies across the country. I've traveled the country over the last 10 years since retiring from the Birmingham Police Department, writing new strategies, new policies, investigating cold cases and wrongful convictions. Now, let me tell you something about investigating wrongful convictions when you're a law enforcement officer. You don't make many friends in this profession, but it shows the type of character I have. I believe in true justice. Whether when we are wrong as a profession, then I am the one to call it out. I've been that person, I will be that person, and I want to bring this experience to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. When I started in law enforcement over 30 years ago, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office was the pinnacle of law enforcement. It was the pinnacle. It was where everyone wanted to work. There has never, ever been a time where the Birmingham Police Department has ever been fully staffed and the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office has been over 100 understaffed. That's a problem that we have to address in the beginning. We have to address, you can have all the programs that you want, but the way you keep people safe today, you gotta have boots on the ground. You've got to, because there's a ripple effect. It drains your pocket when you don't realize it, with overtime and people working, having to be forced to work overtime when we don't have enough staffing. That makes each of us less safe. And we also have to address other problems, like the problems over at the county jail, because the conditions that the jail are in right now are deplorable. And what that does on the back end is it drains the resources from your pocket. So listen, the status quo will no longer make it. We can't do the status quo anymore. Policing and public safety has changed, and we need new ideas, we need new strategies, we need new people in the position. My name is Chris Anderson, and I am your candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff.
All right, thank you. A follow-up question to Sheriff Petway and the others on the dais. The sheriff office budget runs about $282 to $283 million a year. It's a lot of money. What experiences or background do you bring to the table to ensure prospective voters that you can handle that type of budget?
That's not the correct numbers for the budget. The budget is about close to $100 million a year. That is not. That is. We have a commissioner right here who approves the budget now. Okay. So there's a lot of things that's not been correct, especially when he talk about the amount of deputies that we're down. We're not down over 100 deputies. It needs to be fact-checking on these here forums because the truth matters. The truth matters. Truth matters. Truth matters. But we're between $94 and $100 million, and I have had that budget every year, and we make sure that we stay within the budget every year. So people can tell you about the budget being burned up and everything. No, we stay in the budget every year. We don't go back to ask for more money. We stay within our allotted amount of money that we have to spend for the budget year. We submit a budget. It's budget time now, and we stay within our budget. So the commissioners know it, and if it wasn't, it'll be on the news. So we use what's in our budget to make sure that we can handle the money that's given unto us.
All right, Jude?
As far as experience in managing that type of budget, I was in narcotics. Narcotics, our budget was separate from most everybody else's, so we manage our own budget. but it's not that much. Now, we have a lot of money coming in from seizures and such, drugs and everything that we do, but I have managed that budget. Now, as far as managing it appropriately, half the time throughout the year, we almost out of money in the first place when I was there. So, I'm not saying he's doing a terrible job of managing the budget, but it can be a whole lot better. The jail does drain the budget. The jail is in bad shape. So a lot of that money is going for repairs. You got come on, man. A lot of that money is going for repairs. That jail is broke down. It doesn't the doors don't work. The inmates come out of the cells when they want to. So don't be fooled by all of this. Now, we talk about a budget. The budget needs to go into, believe it or not, I say a new jail, because that jail is deplorable. All right, so we need to work on trying to find ways to manage that budget to be able to get a new jail, get new deputies. But managing it, all I have to offer from that is managing narcotics, our budget, the money we have coming in and out, buying vehicles. I was responsible for that, the purchase of vehicles and equipment and such. But once you start doing that, it becomes second nature. Now it's a lot bigger. What he has to do a whole lot bigger. But hey, he didn't do it before he got there either.
All right, thank you. Chris?
I currently serve as the chief of police. I've not only managed budgets, but I've created my own budgets. I've done every job that every person that works in that office will be responsible for doing. I've done it myself, so therefore I can hold them accountable. Experience is the best teacher. Now, I won't change this whole conversation into a battle between me and this man or anyone else. Check your budgets. You can look at them online. I have no reason to come up here and lie on anybody. That is not in my character. So check your budgets, look at them online, and you can see where I get my information from. Now, as far as your question, sir, yeah, I have managed budgets, I've created budgets, and yes, experience matters. It does matter. If you've done the job, then you know how to keep people accountable.
All right, thank you. We're going to move to the next group of candidates. Thank you. And we got group number 2 coming up. We certainly appreciate y'all being a part of this forum. All right, we have the tax assessors and collectors coming in now. The assistant tax assessor, the assistant tax collector, the Bessemer Division, and the Jefferson County Judge, Police number 1. All right, good evening. We're going to start out with the Assistant Tax Assessor, the Bessemer Division, Charles Winston, who has no Democratic challenger but Republican waiting in the fall, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got 3 minutes opening statement.
First, good evening to everyone, and thank you to our moderator for moderating. I heard all the accolades that they gave you, so I know you're fair. First, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to have served for almost the last 12 years as Assistant Tax Assessor for Jefferson County, Bessemer Division. I'm fortunate enough by the grace of God, not to have a Democratic challenger in the May election. Do have a Republican challenger, as he said, in the November election. So I've come to answer any questions and to share with you that I'm seeking to return to the office. My office is the Office of the Tax Assessor. And I like to say that in pun against the tax collector, because I'm the guy in the Bible that gives you the discount. I'm the guy that gives you the exemptions, the exceptions. Our office don't collect money. So I meet folks that say, I wrote you a check. I said, well, you wrote it to the wrong person. I hope you put it in my name. Because you write a check, you're going to write it to the tax collector, either Birmingham or Bessemer Division. But our office is responsible for current use, for the current use of your property, for the exemptions, over 65 exemptions or disability exemptions that you have. Our staff are responsible for each year for making sure that you file those and that you receive those as part of the legislative act for owning property in this county. We're responsible for all of the parcels of property in the Bessemer cutoff. I share this as a matter of information because too many folks will say, can I do this investment? Anything that you can do in the Birmingham courthouse, you can do it in the Bessemer courthouse. Anything with the exception of redemption of property. And that's a collection action from the collector's office, but you can't do it. You have to do that in the courthouse where the parcel of property is located. But anything else. So you're fortunate in Jefferson County by legislative act that you have two of everything. Those of us who are elected in the Bessemer Division by election purposes and for election purposes are called the assistant tax collector. That doesn't make us assistant to the tax collector in Birmingham. That makes us for the purpose of election. So that you can identify who it is that you vote for. And because prayerfully most of you live in the Bessemer cutoff, I'm asking for your vote, for your support to go back to the office of a tax collector for the Bessemer Division.
All right, thank you. Follow-up question. What process or processes you've implemented since you've taken office? Any changes you made to your office?
When I came into the office, our office, from what I understand and what we can ascertain for the last 40 years, had not been current on deeds and stacking. To date, we're current up to the month. Without overtime, without excessiveness, we're pretty much fully staffed. We're probably 2 people down. My office, when fully staffed, is 24 people. But the main thing is that we've implemented customer service, courtesy, and appreciation for those who come into our office.
Thank you. We hear that noise, that means stop. All right, thank you. We're going to move on to the tax collector, something that Charles Winston didn't want to be. All right, the tax collector, and the incumbent is Ron Marshall, who has 2 challengers. And Ron, we're going to let you make an opening 3-minute statement.
Can I do it from the podium?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now I got to know if I can get some light over here. Let me first of all say thank you to the church for allowing us to come in to talk about the different issues and expose, give information to the public regarding our office. And it's my privilege to be here today as the assistant tax collector. Under my current leadership, we have accomplished quite a bit in the short time that I've been in this position. I came in the position in November of 24. At the foundation of our operations are 3 core values: integrity, accountability, and service. These principles guide how we conduct business, how we serve the public, and how we hold ourselves to a high standard every day. Integrity ensures we do what is right. Accountability ensures we take ownership of our work and results. And service ensures that every interaction reflects professionalism and respect for the citizens we serve. Our office plays a vital role in the financial operations of this county, from processing payments and managing accounts to ensuring we comply with state laws. Our work directly supports essential public services. Because of that responsibility, we remain focused on delivering leadership that is consistent, reliable, and built on trust. As we move forward, our focus remains steady to improve operations, strengthen service delivery, and maintain the public trust through professional and dependable leadership. We are proud of the progress made so far, and we remain committed to building an office that is efficient, accountable, and fully focused on serving the taxpayers in the Bessemer Cutoff.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to Mykesha Miles Jones, Challenger. 3-minute opening statement. Okay?
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I am Mykesha Miles Jones. I am running for the Assistant Tax Collector's Office, but I'm running not only for the office, I'm running for the citizens. I'm running because we have to have a voice. We have to have more. I'm running because I'm tired of people coming. You see them every 4 to 6 years when they want to run. I applaud those already in seat that already do everything, get out in the community with your people to find out and do what you're supposed to do for the community. But I believe this seat can be more. So with faith, integrity, the love of God, the love for the community that I have, the discipline that I currently have, being the experience, real life experience that I endure or I go through every day at work. So I am a paralegal. I am a city clerk. I manage a whole city. I've done work at the DA's office, in the check unit, which I manage that check unit over there in the Bessemer Cutoff Division. I've also worked at family court. So with that backing behind me, I have true life experiences on how to treat the public. Also, as far as going into the position, I would actually be open. I will have the accountability, so the accounts would be, their public records are already. So I would make it available for the citizens to know exactly where your tax dollars are going, to know exactly how much is going to the schools, how much is going to each city, how much is going to the general public for general funds. Those would be accessible to you, but I will also be accessible to the community with not political forums, but forums, informational sessions in every city, so we can help the citizens understand this position and understand their rights and what they need to know, because a lot of them are misinformed or not informed at all. So I'm that public servant. I'm that person that's willing to be out there in each city in the cutoff all the time. And our office would be open to, well, if make people feel comfortable coming into the office, I put it that way. Nobody would feel like they're less than somebody else, or nobody would feel ignorant or feel less than when they come in and they don't know the answers. So just making people feel like they're welcome and wanted to be there is my goal.
All right, thank you. We move on to Danielle Lewis Matthews.
Good evening. I am Danielle Lewis Matthews. I was born and raised in Brighton, Alabama. Graduate of Midfield High School, who went on to Miles College and received a degree in communications. So I'm a graduate at Miles. While at Miles, I pledged Delta Sigma Theta, where I was president of my chapter in doing so. After leaving Miles, I went on to work for the state of Alabama in child welfare. While doing so, I received my real estate license in 2005. So now I sit here as a 20-year real estate broker who owns her own real estate company here in Bessemer, Alabama. I am also a licensed real estate instructor for the state of Alabama, where I teach pre-license, post-license, and continuing education. So one of the things I want you to think about when it comes to this assistant tax collector office is qualified, experienced, and committed. My qualifications come from my 20-year background in real estate, where I help people every day all over the state of Alabama, where we have to make sure we maximize their taxes, where they trust me to make the biggest investment of their lives. When you talk about experience, again, I've been doing this over 20 years. I have an agency where real estate agents not only come and trust me, but they look for me to lead them in making the right decisions as they further their career in real estate. Commitment is having patience with them, taking time to show them what it takes to be an experienced, qualified realtor, to maintain their licensure. As a licensed real estate instructor, I take joy in teaching others my gift. Someone also said to me one day, they said, Danielle, you know, you do, and when you understand, you teach. And I enjoy doing so. I'm also a community servant and a partner where people know me. Well, not only I don't work at the courthouse, but I offer information and classes to assist citizens on how to purchase those tax properties at the courthouse. So what I want you to remember about Danielle Lewis Matthews is qualified, experienced, and committed. And I'm so thankful I just received the appointment to become your land commissioner for Jefferson County. Thank you.
All right. Follow-up question to Ron Marshall. What processes or changes that you've implemented since taking office?
Since being in office, one of the things that we've done, and most significant thing that I think we've done, we've documented and written standard operating procedures. So it's not just working off the cuff, but it's having documented material that you can go to or the employees can go to if they have questions about the process that they're working on. So that's been very significant and very, very helpful.
All right, thank you. Makisha Miles Jones, why should a voter who is undecided or skeptical trust you over your opponent?
Well, one, you can look me up. I'm not new to this. I've been in the community for over 30 years doing what I do. Like I said, from family court, juvenile detention center, to the DA's office, to the lawyer's office. So I understand the legal aspect of the situation. I understand the...
All right. Danielle, if you have to sum it up in 2 words that describes you or your candidacy, what 2 words would you use?
Resilient, committed.
Okay.
You said 2 words.
All right, you want to expound on it? But go right ahead.
Well, one of the things, again, what I didn't say is, after finishing the Leadership Academy with the Birmingham Association of Realtors, I became a board of director. And in doing so, I governed over 5,000 realtors making laws so that our profession can stay relevant.
All right. We move on to the district court judge race. We have Hope Marshall and Tiffany Jones. And Hope, we're going to get you to open up with 3 minutes of opening statements about your vision and platform.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
My name is Hope Marshall. I am running for District Civil Judge Place 7 in Jefferson County in the Bessemer Division. I want to thank you all for allowing us to come and speak with you today. If you are in the Bessemer Division, I need you to tell your friends in Birmingham to vote for me, Hope Marshall. I'm an attorney with 25 years of legal experience, 20 years as a practicing attorney. I'm also a special sitting judge in District Civil Division. I am also a volunteer in this actual court where I represent individuals who have less of an income and who need the support. The individuals that come before the judge in this court are mostly pro se, which means that they represent themselves. These are individuals who need a judge that is honest, transparent as to how the law is applied to them, as well as an opportunity to be heard so that they know that they have a voice in this courtroom. I'm also going to be professional and, once again, experienced. I am also a professor at Birmingham School of Law. I'm asking for everyone's support, your prayers, and your vote on May 19th. Let's bring hope to the bench. Vote for me, Hope Marshall, the only hope on the ballot. The individuals here in Bessemer, I need you to tell your friends in Birmingham. And if you are in Birmingham, look for me, Hope Marshall. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Tiffany Jones.
Good evening. My name is Tiffany Jones, and I'm also running for Jefferson County District Court Judge, Civil Division, Place 7. As a district court judge, I'll be responsible for handling cases that consist of landlord-tenant issues, account collections, and wage garnishments. I was born and raised right here in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a proud product of the Birmingham City School System and a proud graduate of Ramsey High School. I have over a decade of trial legal experience where I've been fighting for the citizens of Jefferson County every single day. I have successfully tried hundreds of cases. I ran briefs to the Alabama Court of Civil Appeals and had a trial court decision reversed in my favor. I've also sat as a special sitting judge where I have listened to litigants' cases. I made rulings on the evidence of law, and I issue orders according to the laws of the state of Alabama. I've also served as a daily master where I have listened to litigants' cases. I made rulings on the evidence of law, and I made a recommendation to a circuit court judge. I have the experience, the knowledge, and the temperament for the seat. But my experience, it goes beyond the courtroom. I have worked as an adjunct criminal law professor. I have been volunteering at legal clinics, and I've also served as a pro bono mediator because I truly believe that access to justice shall be for everyone. Jefferson County deserves a judge who is knowledgeable, has experience, and integrity. These are not words I am just saying. These are traits I embody every single day. On May 19th, I respectfully and humbly ask that you go to the polls and vote Tiffany Jones. Vote Jones for experience. Vote Jones for integrity. Vote Jones for Jefferson County District Court Judge.
All right, thank you. Follow-up question to Hope Marshall. Being a judge, you can't really make promises except that you will equally and fairly apply the law. So what unique experiences do you bring to the table that someone would choose you to become a district court judge?
As I said, I was a special sitting judge in this court. The presiding judge actually entered an order appointing me, because I say appointing because I was actually ordered to sit in this position free of charge, which means that I worked free, handling the cases of citizens in Jefferson County. So that shows you that I'm committed to the citizens of Jefferson County because I actually did a sabbatical from my law practice to help transfer different cases in this court. The backlog in this court, there are 4,000 cases.
All right, thank you. Tiffany, oftentimes with judges sitting on the bench, you have to have a judge that has compassion and also a fair interpretation of the law. So what experiences you bring to the table that uniquely qualifies you?
Well, I also sit on the bench as a special sitting judge, so I understand that. My main focus is to let people know they have a choice and have a voice to be heard, but the law cannot be changed. Everyone that entered my courtroom, they were heard, The evidence was ruled according to the law, and regardless of the outcome, they knew they were treated with respect and with dignity. And I plan to continue to do that when I sit on the bench for the next Jefferson County District Court Judge.
All right, thank you. Well, that concludes our group number 2. We're halfway through our forum. We've had 13 candidates. I think we're moving pretty good. Yes, thank you. All right, we're going to move to group number 3, state and national elections. The governor's race, the U.S. Senate race, and Senate District 16. All right, the U.S. Senate race. All right, at this time, we're going to ask Karen Don Burke, the Circuit Clerk of the Bessemer Division, to come up to talk about the election and election processes.
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? I'm so excited to be here. Ms. Thomas, thank you so much for having me here and New Life putting on this forum. I just want to tell you quickly, because I heard I only had 3 minutes. I thought I had 15. Y'all know who I am. I can't do nothing but say my name in 3 minutes. But however, election is coming up. You can vote right now, absentee. Please, let's take advantage. Do not wait till the last minute. Laws are changing. You remember you could go to the post office, put something in, you get it in before 2 o'clock that day. They postmark it that time, and you think it's on to wherever you needed to go. That's changed. So don't wait till the last minute to put your absentee ballot in the mail or bring it. Because if you put it in, the law now says, if you put it in now, whenever the workers get to it, is when they postmark it. Okay? That goes for your bills and everything. So my thing, do not wait. May the 19th will be here for you know it. So keep in mind, if you're trying to register someone to vote, May the 4th, last day. So if you got young people or anyone that you need, even check with the people who think they can't vote. The ones on the application, you have your moral turpitudes or violations. If they feel they don't fit in that category, register them to vote or make sure their votes are still active. If someone's got arrested, make sure if they have not gone and have been convicted as far as in the trial, then you know what? Their voting is still available. So please, let's not lose the ones in the cracks. I want to quickly touch on emergency voting. If something happens, you got a trip, you unexpectedly, you're going in the hospital, you have things that come up with someone death in the family of your second kin. Listen, you can still vote past the time of absentee. We as a community, we do not, and as a state, do not utilize some of the things that are still afforded to us for voting, only because we don't know. So please call my office if you need any additional information. I want to quickly give you some dates, if that's okay. Give you some dates. You got May the 4th. It's the last day to register. You got May the 12th. It's the last day to apply for an absentee ballot in order to be mailed. Okay? Again, May the 12th. May the 18th is the last day to hand deliver an absentee ballot. Now, if you go into this emergency voting situation, which is 5 days before, okay? However, we don't do proxy voting in Alabama, right? Proxy means I can't have someone to sign for you. But if you're in the hospital, so Ms. Thomas say something happens and the one that you know is in the hospital and they have to sign a doctor's notice, have to be on there to say, hey, this person, and we'll give you the ballot. You take that ballot to that person, they sign and bring it back. That's not proxy voting. That's just one of the absentee emergency methods. But however, if you got a business trip or you have someone that has passed, only thing you need is an affidavit. We have that at my office. Keep these options in mind. Please call me if you need any other additional information. It's so much we need to know. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the race for governor, the all-important governor race here in the state of Alabama. I won't say backwards, but Alabama. We have Will Boyd, a Democratic candidate vying for that nomination, and he's one of 4 candidates vying for the Democratic nomination. That's correct? So, Mr. Boyd, you have 3 minutes opening statements about your platform and your vision.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Dr. Will Boyd, running for governor of the great state of Alabama. It is an exciting time to be in a race like this one. I'm excited for all the local elected officials, the state officials that are here, and all of you who are working in ministry to help us to make sure our communities are safer, our schools are safer, and that our economies are much stronger. The reason why I'm running for governor is I want every Alabamian to have a fair shot. People want a fair shot at good paying jobs. People want a fair shot at the ability to get to a hospital in less than 15 minutes. People want a fair shot at a community where when they turn on the water faucet, the water is clear, or perhaps the air they breathe off of the front or back porch is easy to breathe. So I want to pause and just tell you what I want to do for the state of Alabama. And that is, first of all, I want us to make sure that it's possible to revive our economy. Even though some would argue, I'm a business professor as well, some would argue that the economy is okay and unemployment is low. The reality is there are far too many who are struggling to get jobs with the skill sets and the pay that will help them to pay for the very things they need at home. So workforce development helps us achieve a lot of that. Working to have a blue-collar revival, working to merge relationships or forge them between small and large businesses helps us out in Alabama. But beyond that, we need to see where healthcare is focused on. So I want us to make sure that we have an expansion of Medicaid. An expansion of Medicaid would help us to get to a point where you can clap 282,696 people who don't have health care would be able to enjoy that in Alabama. It is unfortunate that we live in a state, 2026, where we have more than 25 hospitals that are in sites of closing. And they're closing primarily because of a high rate of uncompensated care. I've served on a hospital board. My family members have all served on hospital boards, and we know what it takes to make sure those hospitals survive and they thrive. When we have an expansion of Medicaid in Alabama, we can see $2 billion of new revenue. We can see 200,000 new jobs, and the list goes on and on. But I want to close with the fact that we need communities that are stabilized. I want kids to be able to be raised here, educated here, and stay in the county that they're raised if they so desire. So we want to see an educational lottery that can bring $1 billion to this great state so that we quit funding the education of kids in Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida, and we take care of the kids right here in Alabama. I'm Will Boyd, your next governor for the state of Alabama.
All right, Mr. Boyd, with Republican having a supermajority in both the House and the Senate, as a Democratic governor, how are you proposing to get any of your policies passed?
Every one of my policies uniquely can be passed with the current structure that we have right now. I can bring in $3.4 billion new revenues if we never change anything. But I'm believing that a blue wave is going to occur. I'm believing that we're going to see more people occupy seats, and we're going to hold the seats that we have. And let me just take the liberty to say this. Somebody started spreading some nasty rumors yesterday that if you elect a Dr. Will Boyd that you're going to lose seats in the House. are you going to lose some type of Senate seat here in Alabama? We need to unify and come together that we look for candidates that are ready to fight for you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move over to the U.S. Senate race. Dakari Laureate, Kyle Sweetser, and Everett West. And Dakari, we'll start with you. You're running for the Democratic nomination to succeed Tommy Tuberville's spot, right, who's running for governor. So, what are your 3-minute opening statements? Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. Mr. Richardson,
thank you.
Neighbors, thank you so much for having us today in your community. We are living in precarious times. We have a forever war ongoing right now, driving $5 gas in some parts of our country, a dismantled Department of Education, a feckless healthcare system run by Robert F. Kennedy, a lunatic. Our voting rights are under constant assault, and our dignity. Do you see the posts that the pedophile in chief posts on his social media? Too much is at risk. We've got to get leaders in place who know what the issues are and have plans to fix them. My name is Dakari Laureate, and I'm ready to serve you day one in the United States Senate. Birmingham is home. I grew up here. Mom is a teacher. Dad served in the Army. And I have 20 years of experience in creating jobs, bringing people together, solving complex problems, fighting for DEI. Who in the room likes DEI? And we should say it. Let's say what it really is. It's diversity, equity, inclusion. This is a good thing. And I'm proud to have fought for that in all of my corporate roles over the last 20 years. Now, I also have served my community for the last 20 years, fighting the opioid crisis in the community, building capacity as a leader of the National Harm Reduction Coalition, fighting homelessness in the South Bronx. Here in Alabama, I joined the board of the University of Alabama Alumni Association, ensuring that we all had access to quality education. So this is what you're going to get from me every single day in the Senate, a fighter who is here for you, who wants all of us to succeed. I love this state so much. I want us all to do better. We deserve that. We deserve that. We are sicker, poor, and less educated than the rest of the nation. It doesn't have to be that way. We've got to elect leaders who want to do the work. My name is Dakari Laureate. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you. Kyle Sweetser.
Hey, y'all. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Thank you so much. My name's Kyle Sweetser, and I'm running for United States Senate. I was born and raised down in Mobile, graduated from Baker High School, got a football scholarship to West Point, played there at USMAPS for a year, and at West Point for a season. I was actually injured, and I got an honorable discharge. Came back, helped the family business, turned them around. It was during the recession, and they were having issues. Helped move them from the yellow pages to the internet. And from that point, when the Deepwater Horizon blew, out in the Gulf, I went straight to work as a small boat captain, getting after it, keeping the oil off of our beaches here. So the environment really matters to me. In 2016, I got a business license going out on my own. Started out 4 o'clock in the morning, going out and fixing people's garage doors before they went to work so they could get out of their garages. And from that point, I'll tell you, I was a former Republican voter. Was never involved in politics. But going in and out of people's houses and seeing how people changed under the MAGA Republican Party, under Donald Trump, disturbed me to the core. The increase of racism, xenophobia, and sexism was terrifying. In 2018, I got to see steel tariffs and how they worked and how they get passed down to the consumer with products that I was familiar with, and how in Alabama we are last place in income. That means that these regressive taxes affect us more than anyone else. But January 6th, that was it for me. That's whenever I stood up, started speaking out, and really I made the right people mad. So the Harris campaign invited me to speak at the Democratic National Convention, where I delivered a speech against the Trump against Trump 2.0 and the direction that we were going. So I want to do this. I want to rein in the executive office. I want to pass legislation that undoes a Supreme Court ruling that says the president is above the law. This is America. No one should be above the law. I want to pass immigration legislation. You see what's happening right now. Our country is being torn to pieces by this hate that's being pushed by an administration that refuses to solve real problems. What's happening right now is fiscally irresponsible, unconstitutional, and flat out immoral. We need to provide a pathway to citizenship to these folks that are here doing jobs that can't be replaced. They're a vital part of our society and community. The last thing that I want to do is push for clean water initiatives across our state. You look at what's happening, and it's downright shameful. You look down in Loudoun County, where 1 out of every 3 people has an intestinal hookworm, like we live in a third world country. I want to bring funding into our state and help solve these crucial problems. But I need your help. Please vote May 19th. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Wow. Everett West.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Attorney Everett West, and I am working to be your next United States Senator. I have 26 years of experience in the legal field. I've been a judge for the city of Midfield, and that's my mayor over there, for about 8 years. I was his prosecutor for 5 years. I was the public defender for the city of Irondale for 5 years. I have experience in the legal profession. In my 26 years in practicing, I have gone to the federal appellate courts and made arguments concerning judicial authority, and I won those cases. I've gone to the federal courts concerning search and seizure, Fourth Amendment rights, and I won those cases in federal and state courts. I've gone to court and I made arguments concerning due process. This is very important because of what ICE is doing. ICE is not giving individuals due process. They're walking around with a mask on, which reminds me of how things were back in the days of the Ku Klux Klan, picking up people off the street, separating families, husbands from wives, children from their parents. I've been a Sixth Amendment lawyer for many people in this county. You've seen me around. You've seen me working in the community. These guys say they've been in the community. You have seen me in the community. I worked on voter registration drives. I've led organizations in this town. I've been on the Democratic Executive Committee, 2 4-year terms for 8 years here in Jefferson County. I've been working in this community. My platform, and one of the reasons I got into this race, because of the Doge cuts and what Trump was doing in our country. I have children and grandchildren, and I want them to have a better country than what's going on in this country right now. We need safe communities. We need jobs. I worked in Huntsville in space and defense for a while, and I noticed how a lot of people, their jobs were cut short if they didn't have 90 days in, over at the Veterans Administration also, or they had to retire early. That impacted families. That impacted people who had mortgages, who paid rent, who needed food, who had children in school, children in college. We have a co-equal 3 branches of government, and I want to make sure that we rise up as your next U.S. Senator and make sure that the President understands that we have a co-equal 3 co-equal branches of government. And we would do that, we can do that, when we change the Senate. This is a very important position again, because I understand laws, and we're going to be making laws in Congress. So vote West the best for U.S. Senate. Thank you.
All right, we're going to stick with you, Everett West. Can you tell us about the SAVE Act? Is it a good act? How would you vote on that?
You know, I think the SAVE Act is just another addition of what we have seen in the past. They had African Americans reciting the Constitution in order to prove that you should be able to vote. They had you counting how many jelly beans are in the jar. So now, you know, they've come up with this new scheme, the SAVE Act. And I think it causes many problems in our country. women who might get married will have a different last name. And that causes problem and it disenfranchises voters, and I would not vote for it in its current condition.
All right. Same question for Dakar Lariat.
The SAVE Act is a solution in search of a problem. It frankly does no good at this point. We basically have no voter fraud in our country. Statistically, zero voter fraud. This is voter suppression, it's a poll tax, and it's unacceptable, and specifically targeting minorities and women. So absolutely will not support this legislation.
All right. Same question to Kyle Sweetser.
No. If you look at the SAVE Act, it just needs to be torn up and lit on fire. You look at what it's about. You know, in Alabama, we already have to have a voter ID. What are they after? They're after voter suppression. It's going to harm women the most, and we need to stand up for women here in Alabama who have been completely left behind or pushed aside by our state.
All right. Thank you. That concludes this group. Thank you for participating in our forum. Okay, we're moving on to group number 4, our last group this evening, House District elections. We have listed Neil Brown, House District 15, Neil Brown, House District 54, Joseph Hope, and Neil Rafferty, and House District 52, Gigi Hayes and Latanya Millhouse. If I called your name, please come to the stage. Sure. You got to pick up any seat. Hey, good afternoon. Gigi Hayes, House District 52.
Yes, sir.
All right, tell us something about yourself. You got 3 minutes to put your platform and your vision for House District 52.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. I am attorney Gigi Hayes. I am running for Alabama State House Rep District 52. As a practicing attorney, I understand how laws and legislation can be at the core of whether a community can thrive and likewise whether or not it cannot thrive. I am basing my platform on ensuring that we have safe and thriving communities. I'm not just saying as it relates to violence, I'm also interested in the environmental threats that can affect whether our communities can thrive. I'm also interested in prioritizing home and health safety as it relates to affordable health care. And I find myself, particularly after 15 years of being in workforce, as an HR professional, I want to make sure that we have workforce development and economic mobility. Some of the core things that are at the center of what keeps me awake at night is voter apathy. I think that our communities have lost trust in politicians. I do not want to just be a politician. I want to be an elected official. There is a difference. Some people ask me, what is my position on this? What is my position on that? What do I care about with various things that are in our community? I particularly think that what my position is will show up in my one constitutional right as a voter what I decide to vote. But my position will center around what my constituents want me to do. We have stopped listening to the people. I think that it's important that we start to listen to what the constituents want, what it is that they understand, do the research for them, and ensure that they know how to mitigate the risk. We do SWOT analysis to communicate with them and help them understand what the risks are of some of the decisions that we're making before we start just shooting bills out there. So I'm asking boldly that on May 19th, the people of my community and my district vote for Gigi Hayes as their next state House rep.
Thank you,
Yes.
Attorney Hayes. With Republicans holding 76 of 105 seats in Montgomery and Democrats only 29, how do you propose to work across the aisle to get something done?
Okay, so Mr. Richardson, I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. And in doing so, I've had to work with a very dynamic group of people. You have to work across the aisles when it comes to executives and the people that support those roles. I think it's important to understand that there are going to be compromises, but those compromises should not show up on the kitchen table and as it relates to whether my constituents can afford groceries. I plan to partner with these constituents. Partner with the people that are across the aisle to ensure that I'm standing up for what's important in my district. My district has rich people and my district has poor people. So working across the aisle is going to be a complex decision that has to be made, and making sure that I respect their position and help them understand my position, because it's about understanding before it is about just proposing things that we want done.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're going to move to House District 57. All right, I see we have Mara Blackman here. She's challenging the incumbent, one of two challenges to the incumbent in House District 57. Mara, you have 3 minutes opening statement. Present your platform and your vision for House District 57.
Good evening. My name is Mara Ruffin Blackman, and I am running for Alabama State House District 57. I am running because I have lived the experiences that many families face, the challenges that many families face. My mother could not afford her health insurance. And when she became sick, she had to oftentimes choose between buying her medicine, paying bills, and buying groceries. And that experience, it never left me. And it is one of the reasons why I am committed to expanding Medicaid and affordable health care to every family across Alabama. I've owned several businesses across this county, including a grocery store here in Bessemer called Urban Market, multiple child daycare centers, and my restaurant, Bistro 19. All they have created jobs and served people. In 2015, I founded the Latch and Live Foundation to help families who were facing homelessness due to economic hardships. Through that work, I have provided housing, food, educational resources, and community programs, including establishing the House of Hope. And we have right now we have elected officials, or should I say politicians, that's saying that they're already in Montgomery doing the work. They're saying that the system is not broken, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. The problem is, it's too much broken. The session just ended in 2026, our House session just ended, but we still have families who can't afford health care. Our Waterworks Board was practically given away. We have small businesses that are overtaxed, and we're still in need of jobs. We have aging infrastructure. We have minimum wage is $7.25 an hour after 17 years still. But yet, we're saying, we're saying it's okay. Standing up here telling us it's okay to cross the aisles. What are we standing on? What are we standing on? Okay, we were supporting, in Montgomery, supporting Republican bills, not passing out one bill that's relevant to our community. We have people that are in prison with untreated mental health illness issues, and we have a system that is not designed to treat them. This is not politics, people. This is about serving people.
All right, thank you. The incumbent, Patrick Sellers, House District 57, 3 minutes opening statement.
Good evening tonight.
Good evening.
And we do give honor to Pastor George Matthews and to this listening audience. I am Patrick Sellers. I am your state representative for House District 57. And I have been doing the work. We can't talk about the work about community service. I mean, I've been pastoring almost in ministry over 30 years. But the work as a legislator is very proven. It's evident that I do the work as a legislator to bring resources back to our communities. Let's start. You can take a look at over the last 4 years since I've been elected, over $300 million in Education Trust Fund budget has went to District 57. 400,000 have went to conflict resolution for Jefferson County schools. 50,000 has went to the city of Midfield for blight removal in this general fund budget. 50,000 has went to the city of Brighton for blight removal in this general fund budget. It's not time, at this time, when you have a winning horse in a race, you don't change up horses when you have a winner. I've been bringing the bacon home. I've been doing what it is supposed to be done in regards to being a legislator for District 57. When you check my track record, I haven't been sleeping at the wheel, nor do I need someone to lead me around like they got a loose on the neck. I'm unbought and unbossed, and I stand to represent every citizen in District 57. Not just some, every last one of them. And so it's not time to change up. People say, hey, he don't show up. If you look at my social media since 2022, I'm probably the most responsive and active legislator there is. I'm everywhere. Sometimes my members call me, I'm not present, because they don't understand how I get from one place to the next. When you look at the resources that have been brought to organizations all across the district, nonprofit organizations, schools, all across the district, it is very, very lengthy. And so I ask for your vote, ask for your support. May 19th, vote a winner, Patrick Sellers, House District 57.
All right, thank you. Follow-up question for House District 57, Mara Blackman. Why should a voter who is undecided or skeptical trust you to represent them in House District 57?
I have a proven track record.
Okay.
I have created jobs. I have created and passed budgets, multiple successful businesses across this county, nonprofits that have served our community. I am the right person for the job. I believe that government works for the people that it serves. I believe that government should be available, accessible, and serve.
All right, we're going to come back to House District 52 race. LaTonya Millhouse, you have 3 minutes opening statements, and we'll follow up with a question for you.
Good evening. My name is LaTonya Millhouse, and I am not running for House District 52. I'm not running for the seat. I'm running so 52 can have a seat at the table.
52 has not had a seat at the table, and it is time out for politics and politricks. And so I am offering myself today for House District 52. I was born and raised in Titusville in a very strong Union military family. Rooted in the community, I have served over 40 years. In my career, I've served from public service for the seniors, to our youth, into family court, supporting families, workforce development, and I am asking you to help me bring that to Montgomery, that experience. I am not here to give you empty promises. I'm here to talk about some solutions. We've identified the problems over and over again. It is time for workable solutions for our district. We deserve better. I'm not going to be the loudest in the room, but I'm going to be the most consistent, and I'm going to be accountable. I hear people ask often, once you're elected, are you going to show up? I've never been absent. If you have to ask that question, that means you haven't seen them before they was running. So you're not going to see them when it's time to be serving you. You only see them during election time. That's what they're going to give you. My mama told me, believe what I show you. If they show you they're not going to show up or show up late in order to run for your seat, I've been in the community serving for years, and I'm going to continue to serve. So I'm asking you to vote for LaTanya Millhouse on May 19th so we can have a seat at the table.
Thank you. How will your plan specifically affect the people in your community?
How would my plan specifically affect the
People in your community,
Okay,
your
thank
plan
you.
or vision for your district.
Thank you. One of the main issues that we have in our community is dilapidated property. So if you have a church with no children, you have a dying church. You have a community with no homeowners, new homeowners, you got a dying community. And it's by time that we affect those dilapidated houses, work as a collaborative effort to work on that land bank, and work on new houses and new homeowners in our community.
All right, thank you. We have Kevin Dasher, the incumbent, House District 52. Please provide us a 3-minute presentation and about your vision for the next term in office.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Richardson, and thanks to everyone for being here. I'm literally running here from my hometown of Harpersville, Alabama. My great aunt Catherine, she came home because she, from Detroit, celebrated her 104th birthday yesterday. And we had church at my home church, and you sit around, eat some chicken, and take some photos because you never know if that's going to be the last time you get to spend that moment with her. And that's important to me because that is the foundation of who I am and how I serve. My mom was there today, and we went back to my mom's house to pick up a cream cheese pound cake and a red velvet cake that she made for my great aunt. And I remember how we got to that house that we were at today. When I was young, my mama was divorced, and she moved her 5 children from a trailer next door to my big mama's house. And so it was my big mama, my mama, and 5 kids in a 2-bedroom house. A couple months later, mama picked us up after work, and she took us to our public housing community in small town of Harpersville. And she said, don't scuff up the floor, don't mark up the walls, some other family's gonna need this one day. And a couple years later, every other week when she got paid, mama would buy towels or curtains or a toaster oven or whatever and put it in a closet or in a room that we couldn't get to, and we didn't understand the plan. So about 3 years down the road, she picked us up and we stood in a small construction site. And before she said anything else, she said a prayer. And she said, babies, this is gonna be our home. It was a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom house for 5 children and my mama. And it wasn't much, but it was hers. Since she's paid that house off, she's tripled the size of it. She made that red velvet cake on Easter Sunday a couple of weeks ago, and that's our home house. And she's already made preparations to pass that down to her children. The 20,000 blighted properties in Birmingham and the hundreds that are in Fairfield are the result of us not taking care of what mama and dad and grandmama has given us. And so the blighted properties that drive down property value and that drive up crime and instability, that is more than just bad things that you see, it's what you don't see. It is millions of dollars of lost generational wealth that black families have given away because mama and granddad and uncle, they worked at U.S. Steel, they worked at SIPCO, she may have been a teacher, she may have been a domestic, but they put everything they had in those houses, and we didn't do what we were supposed to do when they passed it on to us. And now we've left holes in our community, and we've lost the kind of wealth that we use to build families and build strong communities. That is my priority. That's why I was proud to be a leader in the House of Representatives this year on the largest bevy of affordable housing bills in the history of the state of Alabama. We got 2 of them across the finish line, and we're gonna come back for more with your support, because if we can help families have a home, they have an opportunity. And that's what I believe, and that's what I work for every single day of my life.
A follow-up question, any specific legislation that you supported or any that you fought and successfully helped defeat?
There were a couple things. The most important thing that we defeated was we did it before the session started. The Attorney General and the Governor wanted to be able to take over local police departments. They targeted black cities. They targeted Birmingham. They targeted Mobile. We, as a delegation, we met with the police department, the Birmingham Police Department, at headquarters, so they could see firsthand what was happening. I also introduced House Bill 401, which would have funded for the very first time the Alabama Affordable Housing Trust Fund. It didn't get done, but we got it introduced this year.
All right, thank you all. And we appreciate that group. We have another group coming up, but before we do, we want to hear from our county commissioner representing District 2 and the Jefferson County Commission, the Democrat from Birmingham, Commissioner Sheila Tyson, going to come up and address us for 3 minutes.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Well, I'm Sheila Tyson, and I do represent Bessemer, everything but the pipe shop. And if you can pick up my district and from the pipe shop and just head to Birmingham all the way behind the Civic Center and grab up everything on both sides, I cover that. But I want to talk to you about something that's very important and dear to my heart, the waterworks. We are in a critical condition. Bessemer is not on Birmingham water, but Midfield, Fairfield, Winona, Riley, all of that, parts of Homewood, Mountain Brook, all of that is on Birmingham water. They have totally took over our water. And when we was in court about 3 weeks ago, the judge denied our TRO because she said that had already been addressed in 2015 when the bill was open to give the mayor at that time extra people appointments on the board. So you would open up a bill to give someone extra appointments on the board. When you open up a can, you can't close it back. And she said that it didn't come from me, it came from the judge. So now we're in a fix with this water. I have a water board meeting tomorrow to address over $450 million that they tried to get a loan. But if it's Central Water, why do you have Birmingham name leading it? You have people with $30,000 bills. They are actually trying to garnish this lady check, her Social Security check, for $30,000. If you live to be 150, you should have a $30,000 bill. I got in my pocketbook right now, in my phone, $3,000 bill, $8,000 bill, $12,000 bills where people are sending me. I'm trying to see what they can do with that. And now I got calls saying I got a $69.99 bill, a $99.99 bill. That's because they have fired the people and they don't have nobody reading the meters. So what? Right now they're gonna just do something to just give you a bill, but don't forget now, when they go back and read your meter, you're gonna pay what you're supposed to be paid. Plus, on top of that, $9.99. And I know everybody say they outnumbered down in Montgomery and all of that. I can fully understand that because I'm outnumbered on the county. And I understand that. But my concern still will be, what are we going to do about the citizens here in Jefferson County? And we have 92% of the ratepayers in Jefferson County, over $222 million a year go to Birmingham Water. And altogether, the other 4 counties, it don't even add up to be $12 million. But we only have 2 people representing us on that board. And this is a serious issue, and it shouldn't be looked over. And we need to make sure that I don't care if they turn the bill down, put something in and address the problem that we have. At least we know you're trying to do something.
Thank you. All right, we'll move over to House District 60. The incumbent is Wandalyn Gavan. She's been challenged by Alicia Lumpkin and Nina Taylor. Nina, we're going to give you a chance to do the opening statement, 3 minutes opening statement to present your platform and who you are.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
For those of you who have not seen me before or do not know who I am, my name is Nina Taylor, Captain Nina Taylor. I am a tenured 23-year fire captain for Birmingham Fire and Rescue. I'm also a union president, a former school teacher, nonprofit owner currently. Now, I don't have a problem necessarily with the legislators that are down there unless they pass bad legislation. That is a huge problem for me. So for many years, I have been reading everything, watching everything, and disseminating that information back to as many people as I possibly can. You will hear people say things like, well, what have they done before they became a legislator? But you have to also realize that every legislator that has become a legislator was not a legislator first. You have to have someone that is doing the work. I have been with people at their worst times, every single solitary day. When you talk about health care, I'm the person that they're calling to get them to the hospital. When you're talking about public safety, I am knee-deep in public safety. When you're talking about funding for teachers, I taught, so I know how it's underfunded. I watched how legislation did not pass to have teachers be paid twice a year because we're not sticking together. If you're gonna have a Democratic person that's gonna be down there with you, we have to be a team. There is no I in team. So you want something to change, you have to vote accordingly. You have to think about, is this person going to represent me, my thoughts, my views, accountable to the people? See, you will hear I, but the preamble of the Constitution says we the people, and your vote will always matter. So I want you to understand, if you have any questions, I'm accessible. You can call me, my number is listed. That is not harassment. You should be able to reach your legislator. If you want to know if a person is really doing something, do a simple Google search. I can promise you I will never pass horrible legislation that disenfranchises anybody in this whole state. Because as a legislator, whether that I'm in District 60, my legislation will affect the whole state.
All right, thank you. The incumbent, Wandalyn Gavan.
Hello, hello, hello. I am, she is I, State Representative Wandalyn Lily Gavan. a one-time State Legislator of the Year named by the National Black Caucus of State Legislators. Woman Legislator of the Year named by Nobel, the National Organization of Black Legislative Women. Multiple time Legislator of the Year in the House of Representatives, and just last year, year before last, named by the National Caucus of State Legislators, Legislator of the Year for legislation that I've passed. Legislation just last year for human trafficking. Legislation a few years ago, a revenue bill to allow for the entertainment districts here in Jefferson County to be able to serve alcohol during those peak seasons in the morning. But let me just talk about this, because I know what I've done. May the work I've done speak for me. But there are many who continue to seek after this position. They are possessed and they are obsessed. We cannot go down there and do anything more than we can do. This is a contact sport. We need people in the arena. Every day we're playing defense. When you hear about someone talking about there's no team, no I in team, there is a I in win. We go to Montgomery to win. Listen, the issues remain the same. Voting rights, health care or the lack thereof. First, last fired, first fired. At the end of the day, we are marginalized communities. 76 legislators that are Republican, 29 that are Democrat. We don't even have to show up to make the quorum. If you think it's just that easy to pass a bill, I have more bills passed, good bills, that have passed more than anybody in the state legislature. So if you are talking about someone who needs to be able to work with somebody, certainly I know how to work with anyone. But with that being said, the question is for anybody in here, ask them where have they been? Other than showing up when it's election time, other than coming in to criticize with those who know what goes on in Montgomery, those that are in the arena. This is a contact sport. It's not for the faint of heart. We're not here playing hopscotch. We're not here jumping rope. We are playing a serious contact sport for which you need people who know how to play defense sometimes and offense. With that being said, don't get tricked by the politics. At the end of the day, I know the job. And when they elected me in 2010, I knew what to do. But at the end of the day, we don't need spectators. We don't need seat warmers. We need people in the arena. And I am State Representative Wonderland Lee Gavan, a woman in the arena, and I did approve this message.
Okay. Nina Taylor, you alluded to, in fact, your statement is no I in team. Are you suggesting that your opponent does not possess the ability to get along with others?
Exactly. I have no problem saying that when she has been snatched off of every committee there is. Unlike many, I watch what's going on. I watch him on YouTube. I watch him in other places too. And I watched, this is my current legislator. This is mine. I own it, right? In my district. But when I saw bills pass like that body camera footage bill, it was disheartening to me. And then I watched my senator try to back cleanup. No.
All right. Wonderland, same question. Is it unfair assessment that you lack the ability to get along with others?
I think it's quite ignorant. I just rolled off almost 10 bills that I have passed, and I have more passed than anyone. But let me simply say to you, they're speaking of a body cam bill. I just spoke about people in the arena. There are members who can back me up in this room. We have to get what we can get. That bill was one in which we were going to come back the next year to make the modifications, to make the changes. We sometimes have to move legislation. But I will say this, there are many people who can get body cam footage. And for them to continue to try to use this at the end of the day, I haven't seen my opponent down in Montgomery on any committee. But I want to say this because I want to clear this up, Gary. With regards to being snatched off a committee, I wasn't snatched off a committee. I simply told the Speaker of the House a few years ago that I refused to stay on the plantation when they would not allow us to even have knowledge of the bills that were being moved. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank this group for showing up, and we certainly appreciate you all. being a part of this program. We have Eric Major, who showed up from House District 55, a candidate. Please? Yes, you're just going up. You got your placard? How you doing? Is Jennifer here? It doesn't matter. Okay. All right, House District 55. Eric Major, good evening, and you have 3 minutes to tell us something about yourself and your vision for this office.
All right. First of all, I want to say good afternoon. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. I'm Eric Major, candidate for State Representative District 55. I think the most important thing I could leave you with today is that your vote is an investment. It is not a gift that you give somebody because you're a church member or your friend. It's something that you should be utilizing for your own future, not for the benefit of somebody else. And ultimately, what I would say to you when you elect someone, if you look at no matter if it's your gas tax, your sales taxes, they don't give you a choice about whether or not you give and put your money into the pot. They only give you a choice about whether or not you say where that money goes. And what the state legislature does, and when the State House of Representatives, all the budgets start in the House, which means that the House members have the first shot at determining where that money is spent. And ultimately, what you are electing when you choose a state representative is somebody who's capable of directing that money to somewhere that's going to get back that you can get a return on your investment. What I'll tell you about Eric Major is I have a history. I've served in the state legislature for 2 terms already. So I'm not asking you to take a chance or give me any type of chance. I will tell you, look at the history of Eric Major in the state legislature where we created jobs. In fact, during my tenure in the state legislature, the first economic development project in the state was Teletech, which was in my district. That wasn't a mistake because before I ever asked to be your representative, I first volunteered on campaigns and I served in the highest legislative body as an aide so I could learn what to do. So when I get elected, day one, I was ready to represent you properly. I think it is a travesty for anybody to come before you and ask you to give them a chance. We are the ones that need a chance. And I'll tell you exactly how you know you need a chance. Because the city of Birmingham, $1 billion asset, was taken from you. That happened because you had people who weren't prepared to defend your assets. Then you had this bill, I don't know if it came up already, I call it the Derek Chauvin bill, because it was passed right after George Floyd, where it gave police officers in Alabama civil and criminal immunity for if they snatch you out your car and beat you. And then you can't even get a copy of the body cam that she was discussing earlier if they do that. You need someone in Montgomery that's also that's ready to protect police. My brother's a police officer, so I think they're good police officers. But nobody needs immunity for doing damage to other people. Everybody should be able to face the music like anybody does and be able to determine whether or not their actions was lawful or not. I don't care if you're a police or who you are. Our community needs protection. We need results. When you look back and see the economic development, when I served in the state legislature, when I initially got elected, every single school was on academic alert. Was that my time? Okay. I got a lot to say, y'all.
All right, I posed this question to other candidates about the Republicans having a supermajority in Montgomery. How do you propose to work across the aisle?
Well, I think working with others, they say supermajority, there are 105 members of the House. Each one of those members have their own district interests. And those interests are not Democrat and Republican, because believe it or not, the people in Alabama have more in common. This is one of the poorest states. In fact, it's a welfare state. So there are more poor people in Alabama than there are people with, in fact, I think the average reading level is on the 3rd grade reading level in Alabama. So what I think is, instead of focusing on where our differences are, these party stuff, that's how people get elected. That's not how people govern. Was that my time again?
That's it.
I got a lot to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have no competition up there, that's for certain.
Well, I don't think I got any competition in this election at all. If you look at my record compared to theirs,
All right, thank you.
it is what it is.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. All right.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity and thank you.
Certainly.
All right.
Appreciate you.
And vote Eric Major on May 19th. State Representative, District 55. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, we're exactly 1 month before the election. Exactly 1 month. All right. And I'm going to do some shameless promotion. If you're not advertising on WJLD 104.1, you're wasting your money. Anyway, Teresa Thomas, thank you.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, everyone. Let's give a nice round of applause. I want to thank everyone who has come out today and shown up to show your support for the importance of voting in our communities and in our state. We want to thank all the volunteers. So many different volunteer groups have contributed to this session that you see and you don't see. And Gary, thank you again, and the people from the Gary Richardson Morning Show. We appreciate you, and thank you so much for your expertise at this event tonight. Thank you so much. And also, we want to thank everyone who participated as a candidate. I think it takes a lot of courage to be a candidate in the world society today. And we want to let everyone who serves in public as a public servant know that we really appreciate all that you do for us. I know it gets a little rough sometimes. And we have some public servant people here that were not on stage. Would you mind standing? I see Senator Marika Coleman. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, there's Representative from District 56, as Representative Ontario Tillman. Anyone else that I've overlooked? Well, I saw DA Lenise Washington here earlier today as well. And so thank you all so much. And we just want to close with this. Voting is not merely a right, it's a responsibility and a privilege that each eligible citizen should embrace. And I was thinking about what Pastor said today about privilege. You say you should not live below your privilege. Voting is a privilege that we should take to heart, and let's not live below our privilege for the right to vote. By participating in elections, we play an active role in shaping the future of our community, our country, and your vote carries the power to influence policies, hold leaders accountable, and create a more inclusive society. It is essential to remember that voting is not only about your individual voice, but also about contributing to the collective voice of the people. By exercising your right to vote, I see Curtis Travis coming in. By exercising your right to vote, you are strengthening democracy and ensuring that everyone has a chance to be heard. So whether you're young or old, your vote matters, and so we ask you to use it to make a positive impact on the world. I have to say that this forum has gone much quicker than we had anticipated, so we're out a little early, and I had told Representative Travis he had some other things to do, that he would have plenty of time, and you are within your time frame. So before we leave, we're going to ask Representative Travis to come and give some closing remarks, and if you would, as a pastor, give benediction to this event tonight. Let's welcome Representative Curtis Travis from Tuscaloosa. We do have people represented in our church from Tuscaloosa as well. Thank you. Appreciate you coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, I want to give y'all an applaud for participating in this forum, because one of the things that we talk about and look at and everything is election, is participation. You know, when you look at last year's election, in Alabama, the last major, and we had over 600,000 already registered black voters that did not go to the poll. When we talk about what election numbers happen in the state and the margins of victory, we lose elections by people not going to the poll to vote. So what you're doing here now, people can always say, well, I don't know. People comes up with an excuse. Information's out here, so the more you put out, the more information you give, a better chance that you have an electorate of people will be engaged to go vote. Now, there are things going on now that make us realize, because what we're paying at the gas pump today is because people didn't go vote. 150,000 votes over 3 states, and the gentleman that's leading would not be president now. It makes a difference. And we can't afford, and I know a lot of times we say, well, we want to host voter registration. We need not voter registration, but we need to find ways like this to get folks for voter participation. It's too critical. It's too critical. We are paying, because what is happening right now, we have really not seen the full effects of what's happening in Iran. We see it on the petroleum prices. Fertilizer prices are off the change. Well, that's the fertilizer prices what's supposed to happen if we don't get the crops produced, where there's shortages of the increased costs, we'll be paying higher food prices. All those type of things make a difference. We can elect people that can make a difference. But when voters stay at home, and I'm not talking about folks that have been kicked off the voter roll, I'm just talking about people who are already registered, but don't think it's important enough, or don't think that I got time enough, that doesn't make voting priority. We got to go back to like when our forefathers first had the right to vote, where they didn't have to pay poll taxes, where they didn't have to go do the jelly bean test. When they first got the right to vote, when people and old men and gentlemen actually put on suits and got dressed up like they were going to church to go to the polls to vote. We got to take it back to that priority, because it's not about me and you. It's about our children and grandchildren that will suffer under consequences. DEI. It's not that blacks. We have always had to be the best qualified in the room to get a job. That's not been an issue. Nobody's underqualified getting to do the job, but it's a wedge issue. It's an issue that they drive voters or drive folks to the polls for. If we want our future to be bright, if we want our future for our children, time is now, not tomorrow, but the time is now if we're going to make a difference. So I would encourage you, thank you for what you all in the church, for what you all are doing. We need this more and more. We got to have people showing up at the polls, because if we don't, people will suffer. Our people suffer. When you talk about what happened on Medicaid expenses, what we're talking about, which is fine, but we also now what we see is happen to Affordable Care Act. When we talk about what we see it happen with food stamps, it's just because 150,000 people didn't go vote in 3 states, and that's what we're suffering through. So I would just encourage you, as one friend said, tell Lottie Dollar to everybody that they need to be at the polls to vote. We need to tell them and make sure they go vote. We need to be doing a checkoff at your house. Every registered voter in your house, you need to make sure with a checkoff that you show up, that you go vote today. And don't just take it for word, tell them, let me see your voting stamp. We got to do it because it's just that serious. Thank you for that. Now may we bow our heads. Oh, Heavenly Father, we're so thankful, Father, for this opportunity to fellowship together. Oh, Lord, we know the church is your house. The church belongs to you. And for that, Father, we know that the church is a responsibility, this building, to make sure all your children are taken care of. You have put resources here. And the most important resource that we have, that you allow us to utilize, is the right to vote. Lord, we just thank those who have gathered together here to bring out information, present candidates before you, and Lord, getting them engaged to realize that it's so important. Lord, we know you're in control. But Lord, we know we also have to bring our concerns and cares to you. Because if we just do a little bit, you'll do all the rest. You open the doors that need to be open and close the doors that need to be open. Lord, we just thank you for this blessing and opportunity. We ask you for your blessing upon each one that came. Be with them, Lord, as they depart from this place and they're traveling to work. But Lord, let us go forward in doing the things that be pleasing in your sight. So that, Lord, when we see each other one day face to face, you can say, well done, my good and faithful servant, because it's the highest honor that we can have as servant for our brothers and sisters and the love we share for one another. This we ask in your Christ's Son, Jesus' name. We all together say, amen. Amen. Thank you.